plan. Impossible things.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Len, besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what.
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No, we're already very...
Well now, don't you all look disappointed. Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce... But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes...
Yes, of course. I will explain while...
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the...
Yes, that's correct.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution.
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may...
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave...
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud.
Huh?
Hey, hang on.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard...
Look at those scales. Could those be...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you...
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatsui's doing. Now it all...
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably was...
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure... The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting. Oh, good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny.
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to reestablish the facts. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Are these claims true? Please answer my question.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it.
Well, that's it. We might as well move on.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary?
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What?
Order! Order! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This...
So knew you would stick to Mr. Linney's in that case, my dear odd...
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry. Paimon just knew where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guy. Not to set the wrong tone or anything.
I'm very sorry. I know you've clashed with the Vatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if but our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different...
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could... That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide... The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to. Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, you met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, but still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no...
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but... Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is... From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via...
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to...
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that, which should have been impossible, of course, that voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so that after that, the homicide...
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation.
That's the only way we can save
So, there you have it. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud, but like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust...
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped. If we want to refute the Hydro Arc... Huh?
Both parties have returned to their positions. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina...
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and so Linny proceeded to knock him out. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box. And there you have it.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. See? Linny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only Linny went to the room that contains the oratory. According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the...
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to... When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go, but he immediately used a vent to access the opera. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been the crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel. Finally, he reached the surface. Paimon did it!
In other words, you believe that he knew...
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, assuming that what you say is true...
Oh.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners. Oh, well, your denial is very strident. I'll give you that. Of course I do. If he had... You're saying that he wasn't?
That's right! Linny wasn't in... This means that when the same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best...
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Could there have been a third person? Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary... The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's... Could there have been a third Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
That can't be...
Oh, is that so?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator. Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave... The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing... The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. Linny was not in the tunnel. Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. No one entered or left the opera house through... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have come from a clash, but it would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have... The sound we heard may have come from a clash, but... Halsey's clothing... No one entered or left... No one entered or left the opera house through... No one entered or left the Linny was not in the tunnel at... The deceased's name is Cow... Linny was not in the tunnel at... No one entered or left... Halsey's clothing was... The deceased's name is Cow... It would have been tough for both people.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still up?
I see how...
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end...
If only we knew how...
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a...
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you know...
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from a... The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. The vase was not...
Oh, Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes. If there's a similar method...
Oh, how could a person ever be transformed into water? This is Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection.
Even so, I trust that the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reason. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it...
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an guards, please step into the lounge and...
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... what?
The primordial...
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells elite... The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with the notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis...
You gotta be kidding! People dissolving...
Could something so ridiculous...
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy.
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tanks really... Just a minute. Could that mean...
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal... Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the Guards, please continue examining the items of Mr. Linney. It appears your hypothesis is...
Of course. Think, if we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this...
Right! Like the metal hook! Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the...
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick. The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and... The deceased's name is Cowell, Linney's assistant. The rope that strung the water tank... The deceased's name is Cowell... The rope that strung the water from the primordial sea... I remember there was something else. Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she have something to do with... I remember there was... Lynette was in the magic box. The water from the primordial... Now it seems like the hook... Lynette was in the magic box on... The rope that strung the water tank up. Now it seems like the hook rope was... I remember there was something else. Now it seems like the hook rope... I remember there was... Lynette was in the magic box. I remember there was... The deceased's name is Cowell.
It's in the original plan. Cowell would tamp when the magic box containing Halsey was lowered. The metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon when the balloon attached to the box popped. The water from afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water. But he encountered something unexpected.
That actually, like...
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person?
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact... His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who...
On that note, the guards have just contacted me. I shall now invite him on stage.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just... And we found an identical sample of the water...
What?
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Well, does this not... My dear citizens, my loyal... Linney did not need to take part, having made modifications to the props beforehand. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover now as much as... Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end?
Oh no! water as new
I think we've all seen enough now. I believe this is indeed... Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice.
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss, I must ask you not to...
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman... What in the world is...
No offense, miss, but miracles like that?
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often once everyone believes the illusion. Can't magic reveal the truth? And wouldn't such a trick be the most... Come on, Lenny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think...
I understand.
And voila.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So,
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would... I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me.
That'll teach you to...
Where should I begin?
What?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian. And I'm I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so that's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there, but I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number select... He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on... So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water... Had I known that, I wouldn't have put...
Well, that makes everything pretty clear.
This time, we need to tell the... The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the... The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian. Lillian.
And it's instant! Having been selected, her panic only intensified. Hearing the commotion, he did not know that Lil mistakenly the two broke the with no way of escaping. That she would have to go through guard inspection.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons.
So, she swiped 2 of them, right?
At this point,
So that...
Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina. Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat.
wow, look at that! She's like,
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of the actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected to cover up any evidence while committing the deed. Cowell thought of allowing the water tank. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to he poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel. Tight. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box. And thus, Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding. As for Linny, he was in the underground. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude. While there is much in Linny and Lillian, this case at least can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette.
Great work,
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we did. How did you find the water from the primordial?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not. I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a...
I was just we were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, therefore you would be wise to tell every...
Yes, our boss discovered that the water it can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
so, we're just going back now? That's true.
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Linny.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui, I guess. But regardless, I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, back when our parents first died, Lynette, to survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he...
So you went from
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate... But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my... He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then...
That doesn't seem too bad either.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over.
Oh no. But wouldn't fun...
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the... I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person, and all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood.
So, she'd already taken...
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden. Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me in. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. I was hesitant to trust her, but she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy.
So, she believes...
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to come. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water. Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the knave, has their... To us orphans, the only connection we have left...
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything...
It's all right. I understand. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never... If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me.
Bye, Linny.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting... Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack? And given that there's new evidence from the trial...
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are... Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navi.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope. Sorry about that. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal?
Huh? Do we?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every... Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it...
You don't have to twist...
Oh, wonderful.
All right, then. Let's have our...
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating.
Oh, don't worry.
In that case, I'll go order for us first.
Ooh, everything looks so good.
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone.
Yeah. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat.
Oh, true.
Paimon didn't. Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it.
If it hadn't happened right in front of us?
Right? Yet it was because this was such a preposterous.
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished speaking.
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem, to be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability. It's just that it's easy to guard against and deceive a single, which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we exist.
Seems Paimon thought...
It's all right. Well, this was supposed to be a... Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended.
I see. So, I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while.
Yeah, we've heard that...
Well, would you consider some more, unique ways? Perhaps even...
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss.
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the opera. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending. All right, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then, wake her up in the dead of... I can personally testify that this one works.
That might work.
Valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from...
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Why don't we give it a try after...
Huh? Paimon?
Sorry about...
No, it's fine. We're just about...
All right. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fontaine.
Is that so? Huh. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go...
Yeah. Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore. Nah, that would be so... normal. You know, like you.
Okay. As for expenses this month, we're left...
Hey, Navia! What are you...
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro...
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in in any case, I...
See ya!
Take it easy.
There aren't many people around anymore.
Vache.
Looks like we're back here again. Huh? Traveler?
Vache?
Hey, why are you still... Huh? Hey, Traveler? Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
Vache, are you...
My dear... No, wait. You seem to be someone else. My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land? Yes, that is what I was once. I do not know how I came to be like this. I also remember no matter where I went, Vache would go with me. But now, we can no longer... No! Our the thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie for... If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to... Perhaps that is so. If only I could have comforted him. Told him... Is that what you call it? It was a state of neither... I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time. I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go. Farewell, then.
Demoiselle, look out!
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. Chlorand?
Quick, now's our chance!
I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Chlorand. But before I do so...
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge...
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust.
Do not speak of my father!
Sorry, Demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech.
Sorry,
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in great...
I doubt I know much more than you. But I believe that the mastermind behind this... Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those...
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are... I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league?
Yes. Be careful.
I will continue investigating, no matter what. We will bring the truth. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clorand. But...
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being sincere with you.
I know, she's...
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too! We got lucky there. Paimon probably...
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk.
that wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. As such, we're still part.
It will take 50 years for me to...
If it were me, I would have joined these...
All right, you two.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in date?
Well, to be honest,
Huh? Really? Paimon can...
yes. All thanks to you grabbing my drink by... After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases that the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky. Fanta only comes in sweet flavors. So how could it have tasted salty?
So the Fanta had been spiked with water?
Yes. So if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest...
Huh. Really?
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate. But whoever did this left, that's when I figured out that you might be in...
But why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny and...
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of. And speaking of which, did anything strange happen?
Well, it can't be coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too. But it was real faint. Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to...
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing.
New intel?
Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh. Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least... But he never gave testimony or any... Yes, thank you. Oh, you mean you'll help us investigate?
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you,
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased.
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back. We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners.
Don't worry, you two. With us around...
Solidify! Gather! Solidify!
Bring it on.
Stabilize!
Venture
Solidify!
Let's light it up! Gather!
Let's light it up!
No time to lose.
Solidify!
I'm going in!
You can run, but you can't hide. Who's next? No time to lose.
This realm is... If you ever...
Stabilize!
Let's light it up!
Solidify!
Who's next?
Quietly now.
Gather! Yeah.
Bring it on.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Let's light it up. Let's light it up.
Riptide.
Stabilize!
Who's next?
Ad Astra. Thank you for Ad Astra.
The world looks glorious in the snow. Pure white, like the light of the moon. A perfect backdrop for bloodshed.
Solidify!
Let's light it up.
No time.
I will end you.
Gotcha.
This quickly!
Let's light it up.
I guess this is it.
Now I just need to get my hands on the rest.
Stabilize!
Busted. Tidal wave.
Solidify!
Off we go. Yeah. Let's light it up.
Bring it on. Now I just need to get my hands on the rest. No time to lose.
Trouble.
Now I just need to get my hands on the rest.
Gather!
Another test subject. Picked the wrong test subject.
No time to lose.
Let's light it up. Adventure time.
The wrong test subject.
Off we go.
I got carried.
Quietly now.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah.
Stabilize!
The wrong test subject.
No time to lose.
Gather! Solidify!
Adventure time. It's a miracle. Take it easy. Let's light it up.
Stabilize!
Not bad. Not bad at all. Yep. Bring it on. No time to lose.
Adventure time. Let's light it up. Off we go. Adventure time. Off we go.
Gather!
Let's end this quickly! This isn't good.
Roast collect myself. Stabilize! This was well done!
Let's light it up.
Feels good!
No time to look. Who's next?
So quiet.
All right, now we're talking. No time to lose. Now I just need to get my hands on the rest.
Let's light it up.
No time to lose.
Stabilize! This is order!
Everybody stand back.
You're mine.
Gather!
Let's light it up.
All right, now we're talking.
Solidify!
Let's light it up.
Stabilize! Solidify!
Yeah, bring it on.
Gather!
Yeah.
Solidify! Yeah.
Let's light it up! Teamwork is...
You can run, but you can't hide. Yeah.
Stabilize!
Busted.
Yeah. Solidify! Gather! I will have order!
Here comes the cat. Quietly now.
Tidal wave.
Solidify! Fry!
Gotcha.
No time.
Fry! Pick the wrong test subject. I got careless. Stabilize!
Quietly now.
Picked the wrong test subject.
I'm going in!
Riptide. Finally, Let's get down to
I
business.
must leave no stone.
Boom!
Take flight! Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword.
More!
Whirling snow! Body and...
Gather!
Let's light it up! Gotcha.
Order guide you. Solidify!
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Gather!
Quietly now.
Bring it on.
Let's light it up!
Another test.
Solidify!
Have a little taste.
Busted.
I will have order.
Free!
Yeah, who's next?
Subject.
I'm going in!
You can run, but you can't hop.
Let me read you a verse. Take flight! Rain outlines your fate.
Another test.
No, my sword!
Steady as stone.
I got careless.
Dare try!
I got careless.
Whirling snow! Leave it all to me.
I got careless.
Witness the power of Gugwa. Embrace the ice.
Stabilize! Solidify!
Game's up. Fun's over. Take it easy.
Order guide you.
You're mine. Yeah. Riptide.
Gather!
No. Everybody stand back. Her majesty's power flows through me. You can't.
Stabilize!
Gotcha. Here comes the catch. Out of my sight.
Brace yourself. This is gonna hurt.
Let's light it up.
This is order.
time to lose. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You can run, but you can't.
Busted. Gutsy. Things are about to get dicey.
Try to wait.
Pay your dues.
Rain outlines your fate. Time to clean up. Rain cutter, no, my sword. Rain outlines your fate. My apologies. Sakura swirl. Whirling snow! No, my sword!
Let's move.
I must leave no stone unturned. Take flight! Leave it all to me. My apologies. No, my sword.
Feel slugged.
Take flight. Time to... Rain outlines your fate. Defense teamwork is true.
Riptide.
Game's up. Fun's over. No, my sword. Witness the power of good work. Steady as stone, as a dutiful maid would. Someone needs... finds your fate.
Whirling snow! Ah! Yeah! Yeah! Ha!
Burn!
Take flight!
Leave it all to me. No, my sword. Rain cutter.
Whirling snow!
Solidify! Order guide you!
Let's light it up. Gotcha.
You can run, but you can't hide. Yeah.
Gather!
Let's light it up. Everybody stand back. Things are about to get dicey. Quiet.
You're mine. Shouldn't let your guard down.
Your journey ends here, Lord of Sand. Your
Rain
sacrifice is
outlines
ready.
your fate. Let me...
Let's end this now!
Sometsu! My apologies! Ah! Yeah! Ah!
We'll meet
Yeah! Ah! Whirling snow! Yeah! Ah! Unthinkable!
I must leave no stone unturned. Time to clean up.
No time to lose.
Get out of here!
Off we go. Gotcha.
stabilize. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh?
I will have order.
Busted.
I'm going in!
Riptide.
Game's up. Thumbs over.
I could get used to this.
Gather!
Let's light it up!
Bring it on.
Solidified!
Adventure time.
Gather! Solidified!
You can run, but you can't hide.
Gather!
Teamwork is dreamwork. Let's look.
Bring it on.
Order guide you.
Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.
No time to lose. No time to lose.
Solidified!
No time to lose.
Take it easy.
Gather!
Busted.
Who's next?
Blink, let's light it up. I'm going in.
Riptide.
Gotcha. Here comes the catch.
Careless. Solidify. I will have order.
Tidal wave. No time to lose.
Look at me.
Stabilize.
Bring it on.
Busted.
Gather. Order guide you.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Things are about to get dicey. Quietly now.
You can run, but you can't hide. No time to... Brace yourself. This is gonna hurt.